Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face, my card making space, and a bunch of holiday cards. Altenew's July release has gone live, and it's just chef's kiss. Seriously, if you haven't seen it yet, I'll have a link to the release. Worth checking out. I will have many videos coming. I'm also going live Friday, June 11th. I'm going to do a little bonus live at 2 p.m. Central. Put that in your calendars. And I'll be using possibly some of the new product. I'm not sure yet. We'll get there. Anyway, I love this release. And there's a lot of holiday products. There's a lot of non-holiday products as well. But the holiday stuff is also... So I made a whole bunch of cards, and I used one of the new press plate sets, which I hot foiled with. I've talked about this in the past and shown it in many videos. Press plates, like meant for the better press, hot foil so amazingly. It's so good. It's so good. So I did a bunch of hot foiling, a bunch. And I did also use another plate and did like some actual just better press impressions, whole bunch of die cutting, and made a stack of holiday cards. So if you're not familiar or are new here, hello and welcome. This year I started doing a holiday card series, and I started it in January, and I've been adding to it every month. This month we're going to get a few extra ones just because there's been Christmas in July releases. I will have a link to my playlist that has the holiday cards I've done so far linked at the end of this video, and then I'll just keep adding to it throughout the year. And then everything I used to make today's cards will also be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That is what helps pay the bills, keeps the lights on, enables me to keep bringing out content. And yeah, let's jump into making these cards. Okay. So I'm using the Festive Triangles press plates. Now, if you are not into like press plates, the better press, hot foiling, anything like that, like you don't want to go there. Totally fine. But if you like this like design, like this set, the stamp set is the same. It's got all the designs, sentiments, etc. It's fabulous. I'm going to use the stamps on the insides of these cards, but you've got options. Me, love them. I love the press plates. It's satisfying, and I love hot foiling with them. So I chose several of the like tree designs in this set. I put them onto my GLIMMER hot foil system that was already heated up. I'm using Altenew's Champagne Mirror hot foil, and I put the foil with the pretty side down, so touching the plates. And then my cardstock. All the cardstock I'm using is from Altenew, and I'll have the specific colors like listed. I think this first one's either Volcano Lake or Lagoon. I think this is Volcano Lake. And then you just press the timer button. Once the timer button goes solid, you run it through. This part right here in the video is real time. This is how slow, roughly, I go when I roll it through my die cutting machine, because the GLIMMER hot foil machine gives you the heat and the die cut machine gives you that pressure. So I run it through slowly. And I have yet to not end up with like perfect results hot foiling with press plates. Like, look at it. It's just so satisfying. The shine. I've told you guys, I have an inner magpie, the shiny shimmery glitter things, and that's why I love hot foiling so much. So I've sped this up in editing, but I just went to town and hot foiled piece of colored cardstock after colored cardstock. So off camera, I had like all my cardstock pieces already trimmed down that I wanted to use. And then I've got my plates, I've got my foil, and I just go over and over and over again. I wasn't bothering to even press the button to like wait and heat up in between, because the plates were already heated up and it still foiled perfectly. So back to back, I foiled like 5 or 6 pieces of cardstock. No problems. Yeah. And then if you want to, you could use the leftover foil and do the reverse foiling. I tried it. I still have issues with trying to do reverse foiling, so I didn't include it in the video because it just didn't work for me. And I ended up with a million die cuts. Because once I was done with foiling, I used the new Nesting Triangles die set, a separate die set, which you can see has a bajillion sizes, and they're enormous. Like, you could do like pennants and banners with these, which, oh, I need more hours in the day. But that really long, tall triangle set, 3 of them were perfect for those trees. So I die cut the trees with that, as well as just scraps of the same colors of cardstock. So I have a pile of hot foiled trees and just plain cardstock trees. And then I also hot foiled some of the sentiments onto the same cardstock using the same champagne glimmer hot foil. And once I had all my sentiments done, and I'd done it the exact same way, just one after another after another, I used some various sentiment strip wafer dies. You could also just use a paper trimmer, but I used sentiment strip wafer dies, die cut them all. And then I decided to add another color to the mix. This is Altenew's Honey Drizzle. I pulled that out and man, the champagne foil on Honey Drizzle cardstock, stop it. Love. So I have pieces for days. Like, I made a dozen cards and I still had pieces left over. I just stuck them in the back of the packaging for future use. Anyway, so I did all of that, set all of that aside. And now I've got panels of all those same cardstocks. I have 2 of each in just, right now they're A2 size, so 4¼ by 5½ inches. And I have my Better Press system out now. And for that, I'm using the new Essential Textures Delightfully Dotty press plate. This is going to be another one that I use quite often because you can't go wrong with just simple like Swiss dots. So I had the plate in the Better Press face up, and I'm inking it up with Altenew's Fresh Dye inks. I've shown this in other videos. At the end of this video, I'll link to my playlist that uses like the Better Press and hot foil and stuff. But yeah, I'm just doing tone on all of these panels. So Honey Drizzle ink on Honey Drizzle cardstock, and I do that twice. And to attach the cardstock to the clear plate of the Better Press, I had run just a smidge of dot runner adhesive. Any adhesive work, just a small amount, and it's enough. And then after I've run it through my run the Better Press through my die cut machine, I just kind of wiggle the cardstock back and forth. I don't try to peel it up. I just wiggle it, and it removes from the adhesive, and I can reuse what adhesive's on that plate multiple times before I need to add a bit more. So I do that over and over again. And then between colors, I just wipe down the plate with a baby wipe because I'm just using water reactive inks. So they just wipe up with water. If I was using like actual, Better Press inks, I would have to use the cleaner and it would take longer. But this gave me my tone on tone look. And then I used a rectangle wafer die to die cut those panels. And this is how I do like mass production. If I'm doing a ton at once, I do everything in steps, in the same step. So I did all that hot foiling in one step, all the die cutting in one step, all the Better Pressing one step, die cut. And now I'm assembling those panels onto my card bases. So all my cards are top folding A2 note cards. I did half of them in portrait orientation, half in landscape. And I had a piece of white cardstocks cut slightly smaller so that Better Press one I did is just kind of a border. And I adhere all these layers and I just stack them up underneath an acrylic block. And so I do all that in one step. So then all my card fronts have those panels adhered. And then after I've got that done, I then went through and laid out all of my die cut trees onto all of these, which that I thought I was filming, but I didn't. But that's how I work, is just in like batches. As Tim Holt says, compartmental making. You do all the steps. Just do one step at a time. It makes things go a lot smoother. So then I did all my trees and I adhered them. I'm adhering everything with just liquid glue. If you really wanted to step it up, you could adhere layers with like foam tape, build up the dimension. It would look amazing, especially like staggering some of the trees, like some glued down, some popped up. That would look really fun. I would love that. I thought about it, but I was like, I had die cuts and hot foil and cardstock and everything. I had chaos going on and I was like, I don't need to, overdo it. The only thing I did was the sentiments that I had die cut and chose to put on the card fronts. Those I did pop up with thin foam tape. That's it. Just to give that little extra bit of dimension. So I adhered my trees and then I adhered my sentiments and I went through and I did all of the cards with the trees and the sentiments. So just worked my way through until every single card had that. And then for this, like what I'm showing right now, this is just how I finished the card. But I did all the adhering first, and then I did all the insides, like one after another after another. And that's where I used the stamps. And I used all those same inks. And I just chose like 3 of the trees from the set, stamped them with 3 of the ink colors, and then adhered the final little hot foiled sentiment. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So like I said, half of the cards were landscape and then half were portrait. So for the portrait ones, I used the larger Happy Holiday sentiment and I cut it apart with my paper trimmer. And then same thing, I'm going to pop these up with the foam tape. And then all the trees, I'm going to stick down with just the liquid glue. And just a slightly different like orientation. And yeah, really quite simple. And yes, these are clean and simple cards. I did not add splatter. I thought about it. It'd be fun. But honestly, these are ones where just the color combo and then the foil, ugh, love it. So, and I did 12 of them, and I had enough die cuts left over. I probably could have done a few more, but by the time I was done these, I was just like, no, I was done. I had to move on to the next project. So once I had the trees adhered on that one, I'm going to adhere my sentiments, and then I do the same thing on the insides as I did with the other ones, is I'm just going to ink up and stamp a couple of the trees from the stamp set. So yeah, like I said, if you don't like doing hot foiling or just don't have an interest in it, press plates, anything like that, stamp set is so fun. Because the stamp set, you can, heat emboss these, all these detail ones. Oh, they would look fabulous, like gold heat embossing them, or silver if silver is your thing, or just... Yep. Way too many options. I need literally like more days in the week. So stamped all my trees on the insides and then adhered the hot foil sentiments. I could have completely stopped here. I was going to, but I got enough bling to last multiple lifetimes. So I pulled out a couple packs of Altenew's Pearl Dots. I'm using Coral and Blush, and they're self-adhesive. And I added these to all the cards. So this was the final step, and I just worked through every single card, added these pearls. And even though I made a stack of cards and adhered pearls to every them, I barely made a dent in these packages. You get 244 pieces in one pack. That's a lot. I need to stop hoarding my bling. I really do. So went through, added a little bit of bling. So just picked them up with my little perfect picker there, and then just pressed them into place. And yeah, once the last card was filled, I still have tons. I could have made more than 3 times this many cards, and still had pearls left over. So that was the finished cards. And we got shiny foil and the stamping. I wasn't worried about my stamping being perfect on the inside, because it's on the insides. It's just gravy at this point. But yeah, with the hot foiling and the hot foiled sentiments, and then the little Dotty background just kind of bordering those white cardstock panels. And this color combo was fun, and I'm not even kidding. I was just grabbing things at random. Like all these colors, I was like, let's do, but if you wanted to do traditional, like you could do this in reds and greens. Oh, it looks so good. Do it in like neutrals, whatever floats your boat. Like do them all in different shades of green. That would look really fun too. Like just go monochromatic with a bunch of different shades of green. And hot foil, because that was the thing too. Altenew's got a couple of like green hot foils. I'd pulled those out, and again, you guys, just somebody let me know when you figure out how I can like clone myself or add some hours to the day. I got too many ideas and not enough time. But as always, I will have links to all the things in the description box below the video. I'll link to the playlists that I mentioned. Those will be at the very end screen, so you can check them out. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, thumbs upping and commenting, letting them robot overlords know you like what you see. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them.
Bye.